5 things this week. Week ending July 12, 2020. First thing. Black militia. About 1,000 heavily armed militia, all of whom were black, marched through Georgia's Stone Mountain Park on Saturday, challenging white nationalist groups in the area to either come out and fight or join them in demonstrating against the government. Stone Mountain State Park officials said the black militia group was peaceful, orderly and escorted by police as they called for the removal of the country's largest Confederate monument near Atlanta. Videos posted to social media show the group, the Not Fucking Around Coalition (NFAC), meeting at the massive 9-story quartz sculpting that depicts former Confederate President Jefferson Davis and Southern Generals Robert E. Lee and Stonewall Jackson. I don't see no white militia, the Boogie Boys, the 3%ers and all the rest of these scared-ass rednecks. We here, where the fuck you at? We're in your house, one protester said into a PA system during the Stone Mountain Park March. They have also demanded the creation of a black ethno-state, suggesting Texas would be a good choice. Maybe the Texans would have something to say about that. Second thing. NYC Killings. 64 shot, 10 dead, as a spike in gun violence erupts in the already embattled city of New York. The victims included a young father who was shot while holding hands with his 6-year-old daughter in the Bronx. The city surpassed 400 shootings in the first half of the year for the first time since 2016, with 528 by the end of last month. The 205 shootings in June were the highest for that month since 1996, the police said. Other cities have seen similar spikes in shootings, most notably Chicago, where the current pace of homicides is poised to near the 778 recorded in 2016, its highest total in roughly 20 years. Chicago had 336 murders as of July 2. New York, with nearly 3 times the population, had 181 at the end of June, compared to 147 at the same time last year. This is what happens when you call to defund the police. Third thing. Troops in Atlanta. In Atlanta, Governor Brian Kemp has signed an executive order declaring a state of emergency and authorizing the call-up of up to 1,000 National Guard troops in Georgia. The troops will be deployed as needed to protect state buildings, including the state capitol, the Georgia Department of Public Safety headquarters, the governor's mansion and the Georgia World Congress Center. The goal, according to the governor's office, is to free up state troopers from those locations so they can help patrol the streets of Atlanta. Peaceful protests were hijacked by criminals with a dangerous, destructive agenda. Now, innocent Georgians are being targeted, shot, and left for dead, Kemp said Monday. This lawlessness must be stopped and order restored in our capital city. I have declared a state of emergency and called up the Georgia Guard because the safety of our citizens comes first. This measure will allow troops to protect state property and dispatch state law enforcement officers to patrol our streets. Enough with the tough talk. We must protect the lives and livelihoods of all Georgians. The order comes after a violent weekend across the city of Atlanta. 31 people were shot in 11 incidents between Friday and Sunday. 5 people, including an 8-year-old girl, died. The Georgia State Patrol headquarters were also vandalized by protesters over the weekend. Fourth thing. Iran explosions. Latest incident is the 6th mystery explosion in mere weeks. In the early morning hours of Tuesday, 2 Iranians were killed and 3 injured in a blast at a factory south of Tehran. Like with other recent explosions and fires, including one at Iran's underground nuclear development Natanz facility, official statements downplayed this latest blast as an accident. Human error was the cause of the blast in a factory. 2 people were killed and 3 others were injured, said a local official. What is a mystery, however, is the latest spate of random explosions and fires at remote Iranian countryside areas and industrial zones known for being weapons and nuclear development sites. The incidents are now coming with such frequency that the question of foreign sabotage is impossible to ignore, also considering Israeli leaders have over the past year vowed they'll do anything to ensure the Islamic Republic can't possibly develop a nuke. The incidents have sparked speculation that Iran is under attack, with some pointing to arch-foe Israel as the culprit behind the supposed attacks. The New Arab Report continues. Iran has said it will respond if it's confirmed that Israel or the U.S. are behind it, including via cyber attacks. Speaking on condition of anonymity, the Middle Eastern intelligence official told the New York Times that Israel was behind the Natanz blast but not any of the other incident. All of this has prompted a response out of Israel, with Israeli Defense Minister Benny Gantz on Sunday issuing a partial and somewhat ambiguous denial. Not every incident that transpires in Iran necessarily has something to do with us. All those systems are complex, they have very high safety constraints and I'm not sure they always know how to maintain them. Fifth thing. Bubonic plague. The World Health Organization, WHO, says it is carefully monitoring a case of bubonic plague in China's northern Inner Mongolia region, but says that it is not high risk. A herdsman is stable in hospital after being confirmed with the disease last weekend. A WHO spokeswoman said the case was being well managed. The bubonic plague was once the world's most feared disease, but can now be easily treated. WHO spokeswoman Margaret Harris said, "Bubonic plague has been with us and is always with us, for centuries. We are looking at the case numbers in China. It's being well managed. At the moment, we are not considering it high risk but we're watching it, monitoring it carefully." The WHO said it was informed on Monday of the case of the herdsman, who is being treated at a hospital in Bayannor. That's what they said about the CCP virus at first too. Chinese news agency Xinhua says Mongolia had also confirmed 2 cases last week, brothers who had eaten marmot meat in Hope province. Bubonic plague, caused by bacterial infection, was responsible for one of the deadliest epidemics in human history, the Black Death, which killed about 50 million people across Africa, Asia and Europe in the 14th century. There have been a handful of large outbreaks since. It killed about a fifth of London's population during the Great Plague of 1665, while more than 12 million died in outbreaks during the 19th century in China and India. With the CCP virus still ravaging China, the international backlash over the new Hong Kong security law, the trade situation with the USA, extensive flooding from rains unabated for 30 days and now locust swarms ravaging crops, the bubonic plague is the last thing they need right now. Starting next week, we will be producing the weekly report on a Monday, as most of the important things seem to happen on the weekend. We will also start making breaking news-style segments as the events unfold. Thank you for watching. Please like, share and subscribe to be notified of new content.